Autobots, transform!
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of George Reviews. I am the 80s Transformer fan, and today we're taking a look at Red Bumblebee, what I like to call Bumblebee 2.0 or Red Buzz. That's my name, what I gave it. And if you saw my Bumblebee video or any of my mini Transformers videos, you're going to hear some of the same recycled things from those videos because they have a lot in common, obviously, and he has even more in common with the yellow Bumblebee. So I'm going to start by saying Hasbro in 1984 imported these figures from Takara in Japan, which had these guys in their micro change line. And in the micro change line, this guy was just a toy that transformed and ran around somebody's house, and he didn't get any bigger than this. And when he transformed into a robot, he was actually the exact same scale as this. So moving on, Hasbro got the license and created Transformers, and this figure became Bumblebee. So a lot of fans say, because in the micro change line, this toy came in a lot of different colors. There were a lot of different characters or whatever, but Hasbro chose to make the Volkswagen Beetle just one character, and this is supposed to be leftover stock. I can't confirm that. I don't know that for sure. And they just imported them. They put this guy on a standard Bumblebee card. They didn't change the card to red. They didn't give it another character name. It's just imported as Bumblebee. And I went out of my way not to get this guy as a kid. And I like to believe that I am above the influence and I can't be sold by commercials and influenced by marketing. But I saw this guy 1,000 times in the store before I found yellow Bumblebee, and I refused to get it. And I could have did so much with play value. I could have made him an evil Decepticon or something like how they got the Shattered Glass universe now. But I just refused to buy this guy because I had to have the yellow Bumblebee because that's what I saw on the cartoon. And so much for being above the influence. But I remember myself being a much stronger minded child than when I think back now. So anyway, he came carded and packaged exactly like Bumblebee. And this is the 1985 version because it has the rub symbol. Gone was the regular Autobot symbol. And what you would do is you would just put your finger on here and rub it until you got your Autobot symbol. And it would go from like a pale red to green all the way to blue and purple if you keep rubbing it. This one's not that great. But it shows you what faction it was. And this was to keep the bootleggers, I don't know how, from copying this. I guess this was copyrighted, but the actual toy wasn't. So I don't know how much sense that made. But you knew you had an authentic Transformer if you rubbed it up and you got the Autobot symbol, if it had the rub sign, period. So it made an authentic Transformer. And later on, they were packaged with these mini spies. And the mini spies had the exact same thing. And on a commercial, the mini spies were actually highlighted more. I think they had like Cliff Jumper and another Autobot catch a Decepticon in a cave, and then they rub his little symbol, and it's like, he's a Decepticon, and he peels out, and like, after him, which was pretty cool, but the actual toy wasn't. But they were packaged randomly for no extra charge with these little mini spies. Sometimes they would be Autobot, like this one, the Autobot, or sometimes the symbol's kind of jacked up. Sometimes it would be a Decepticon, and it's like a Jeep, a Doom buggy, and a couple cars. On the front of this car it says FX1, I think some type of Mazda, I don't know. Anyway, you got this little bonus figure. But back to this guy, it's the exact same standard Bumblebee. His date stamping is a little bit different. Underneath it says some Asian writing, then it says Takara Co. Ltd. It says 1974 to 1983, which is real interesting because if I get Bumblebee from 84, his writing says 1980 to 1984. So they actually have different stampings underneath the foot, which is a little bit unusual. And just like Bumblebee, he was patterned after the penny racer cars, where they were little motorized cars, and you set them down and you pull them back and they take off rolling on the rubber tires, and you put a penny in here and the penny would give it extra weight and it would do like different stunts and spin. If you put the penny to one side or another, you can change the stunts and tricks it did. And this little guy, who is still nameless, he actually still has that feature, and he was also a Takara Micro Man too. and you just put them down, pull them back, and let them go. And that's what the penny racers were. But it's ironic that they put these guys in here with the toy that was supposed to be disguised as a penny racer. So that's pretty cool. So let's get Red Buzz transform. All you do is pull out his arms now, pull out the tires to become his arms, reach for the bumper, pull his feet down, rotate these feet forward, and now we have him standing up, and then you just pull out his head, and now we have Red Bumblebee. And again, he's exactly the same, just another color as Bumblebee. Same die cast in the back, same design on the back of the head, and it was just Red Bumblebee. But I just could not bring myself to get this guy. Now he actually goes for a little bit more than Bumblebee, because people are I guess adult collectors are really searching for this guy. He was produced in limited numbers or whatever, and he's a real collector's item. Like when I was a kid, like I hated getting Cobra soldiers for Christmas or for my birthday. I'm like, I already got one. But now people want an army build, and the things that people didn't care about back then are very coveted now, like this guy. And onto his little micro changer spy guy, and he has rubber tires on the back. This one is actually cracked, which sucks. I just noticed it when I brought it out to do this review. And he has some ridge plastic tires on the front, I guess to give him some extra grip. He has Takara right there, 1984. Has a little face underneath. Anyway, same basic little transformation. Flip his feet around, pull his arms out, and we are done. He has this little screw in the middle of his chest. They could have gave him like a circuitry sticker or Autobot Decepticon symbol. I guess that would defeat the purpose of trying to figure out whether he was Autobot Decepticon. But that's this little guy. Hopefully I'll try to, if he has a name, I'll try to dig it up before the review is over and put it at the bottom, unless I forget, because it does happen. But I guess you could have this guy be a little companion or an extra Autobot in Autobot headquarters. Like he's like a service drone or something, and he does repairs around the headquarters. Now let me scoot this guy out of the way and bring back in Yellow Bumblebee to show you the similarities and the differences. And this guy, he's actually in very good condition. His chrome is a lot better than Bumblebee's. His joints are a lot tighter. You know, I say his foot is sagging. But these are the two side by side. And this is technically the first Generation 1 Transformer variant that we got in all of Transformerdom. It was Red Bumblebee, an actual true variant that I actually ignored as a kid. And it's ironic that I grew up to be so in love with variants. I had one right in front of me. I could have bought this thing so many times. I would get my allowance and like literally find nothing in the stores, but this guy would be hanging. Even after I eventually found Yellow Bumblebee, I could have still got this guy. In my imagination, and I guess limited by television marketing, I just never went after this guy. I mean, I saw him a ton of times, and it's just so ironic that he's one of the most valuable guys. Not that mine would have survived. I gave most of my Transformers to my cousin Antoine, and he just broke them. I was just so sad. I was out of toys and into girls. But anytime I went over his house, it looked like he was just snapping them. So Red Bumblebee would have got snapped too. So yeah, not a lot to cover that I haven't covered in the standard Yellow Bumblebee video. But I can tell you a few buying tips on this guy. If you buying this guy, he has no official reissue in this color. If you see anybody claiming to have a reissue of this red toy, it's a KO. And if you see him packaged as a reissue for under 50 bucks, it's a KO. And I haven't had the KO in my hand personally, but I do believe they have China underneath. But some of these KOs are clever enough to clone everything, so that might be out the window. So if it's loose, you might want to check the condition, even though I have a pretty superb condition one here. The chrome is good all the way around the head. Well, not right there in that little corner, but you want to check the condition. And sometimes the windows stress and crack right here over time. I don't know why, but there'll be crack in the windows, or there'll be cracks at the little leg connector right here, because this is where you pull it out and rotate it. But just be real careful, because most of the Red Bumblebees out here now are KOs. I mean, you can still find this guy, but if you're on eBay, the Red Bumblebee 9 times out of 10 is a KO. If you see China and under 50 bucks sealed in a package, it's definitely a KO. I'm going to do this whole comparison kickoff thing, but because I love variant so much, it's going to be completely variant themed. So here he is with a KO version of Rumble Frenzy. A lot of people love to call this guy White Noise. So here he is with White Noise. Here he is with the blue Diaclone color Laser Beat. Here he is with a brown KO of Ravage. I call him Savage. Here he is with Sunstorm, a repaint of Skywarp, Thundercracker, and Starscream. Here he is with Sound Blaster, basically Soundwave done in all black. Here he is with French Redfoot Optimus Prime. But yeah, if I had been clever enough, I could have had this guy as a factionless dude, maybe a government created transformer infiltrating the ranks of the Autobots and Decepticons, or like I stated earlier, he could have been a Shattered Glass guy. But I just passed up on him so many times, and then when I became an adult collector and I had everybody, I just really wanted this guy. And like right after I got this guy, I think I paid like $8 and $6 shipping off eBay. Right after I got this guy, maybe about 15, 16 years ago, the price on him started shooting up. So in good condition on the secondary market, he has started about $25 and up loose. So, and go as high as about 50 or 60, depending on who's watching, who's selling, and the condition. So that's pretty much all I got on this guy. I could have squoze him into the Bumblebee review, or maybe did a bonus review, but I wanted to spotlight him individually because this might have been the only one somebody out there picked up. This might have been your only lonely Bumblebee or whatever. I almost had to settle for him. Not saying it would have been bad, but I just really wanted the yellow one. So yeah, so did you have this as a kid? Did you like it? Was it your only Bumblebee? What did you imagine this guy to be? Please talk to me in the comments below. That's what my reviews are about Transformer stories. That's why I say every toy has a story. Thank you for watching George Reviews.
Autobots, transform!